Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. And really quick, before we start the video in the month of October and November, I want to take 1 second to ask you a favor if you have the time. We're going to put a link in the description of our videos that goes to our PayPal. And you're going to see me growing a beard for about the next month till the end of November. What that beard represents is we're working to raise money to give kids a Christmas that otherwise wouldn't have one here in our community. So anything you send us to PayPal in that month, just mark it Hair for the Holidays, click the link, whether it's $1 or $100, even a penny helps. If you mark Hair for the Holidays, we'll give everything that we get from you directly to those children. Through that last year, we personally were able to raise enough money to give 9 families a Christmas that wouldn't have had one, and the charity itself here in our community helped over 70 families. So if you have the chance, we would love your donation. We'd really appreciate it because we love getting to help people in our local community. Thank you. And watch this rockin' beard come in because I'm really bad at growing it, but we're going to give it our best shot. Thanks for watching, guys, and we appreciate your help. On to the video. Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. I know I'm not in my usual gear today, but that's because 1, we're bowl eligible, and 2, every now and then when you own part of a reptile shop, but you know that camera guy Kurt and I both own part of Manhattan Reptile World. But when you own part of a reptile shop and you're in there, every now and then weird things happen, right? And in this case, we got a phone call, and the gentleman said, "Hey, I think I got a rattlesnake." Let me tell you, that happens all the time. People call in, "I've caught an anaconda," or "I've caught this," or "I've caught whatever that they think they found," and then they show it to us, and we're like, "Yeah, that's a black snake," or "Yeah, that's a rat snake," or "Yeah, that's whatever." So we said, "Okay, sure, yeah, caught a rattlesnake. Absolutely. Yeah, bring it on in, we'll take a look at it." Having no idea. So anyway, the gentleman came in, his name was Elliot, and this is what he had in this little cage here. And I took one look at it, and of course it was setting on his tail like it is now, where I really couldn't see it, but I knew right away what it was. And so what we do have is a little Massey, so a little bitty rattlesnake. This is one of the smallest species on the planet. I have worked with these before. This is probably the smallest one I've ever worked with. Here's the thing. He brought it to us. We didn't have a spot in the shop for it, so I went ahead and brought it back here to the reptile house. It's currently staying in our display room. It's currently staying in here, so I went in a small confined area, but on heat in another cage, so it's kind of double caged. We will eventually probably make it into a display animal if it takes to captivity well. If it doesn't, we're going to try to get it through the cold season, then re-release it. But right now, because of where it was caught and the temperature here, if I were to release this thing, it's a death sentence. So we don't want to do that. But we're going to try to feed this on camera for you. Now, this video may be a little shakier than usual, and here's why. In order to make this thing as comfortable as we can't just stick the camera up in its face like we normally do. We are going to have to be backing away because of big heat signature. So Kurt's going to have to use the zoom function, and I'm not going to be able to stand right here. Now, we do have a food selection for it. This is probably a little bigger than I'd like to go, but it was the smallest thing we had available at the time, so we're going to give it a shot right there. Typically on the wild ones, I like their first meals to be very, very small. It just gives them more confidence, helps with them getting adjusted. Now you can see he's really attentive to me. I am going to have to use my finger to open that, but no worries because he's not going to be able to pop me from there. Again, we have our little hook from Get Hooked. I'm not going to stick my fingers in there and open that. We can just open that lid. Then we're going to simply drop this in. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Not where I wanted it to go. We're going to close that. Then I'm going to walk away and try to get away from that and see what happens. So my view is probably not even as good as your guys with the zoom. I can see his tongue flick going. What I'm wanting to see is if he'll turn his attention to the rodent that's in there. If he does that, that's a good sign. That's going to show me that he's calming down from my big old heat signature and starting to think maybe more about what's this little heat signature in there as opposed to the big ones. But we'll just have to wait and see. I am going to intervene just a little bit because I think you're still tuned up on the defensive end, and that's okay. One nice thing about using a tool for rattlesnakes is since they sense heat, the tool will have the movement, but it doesn't have the heat. Now we've got that right in front of it. So my hope is that that little rodent will start moving around, kicking, doing a few things here in a second. And that'll be enough to induce a strike from the snake. And again, this isn't in an effort to get something envenomated. This is in an effort to get that snake to eat. And in my experience, often with an envenomation of something they can eat, they will then in turn eat. So I'm going to do now, and you can see he's still really watching me. That means, well, he may not be willing to bite. He would be willing to bite me. It's a monster! Bite it so you can eat it. It's like it doesn't know it's a rattlesnake and has the ability to stop this at any moment. Okay, we'll go ahead and pull that out there. He is not going to feed, so what we will do is I will let you guys get a look at him because I do want to show a few things. And we will keep working. So what we'll do next time we try to feed is we'll get a brand new, like I say, mouse, brand new baby mouse. And then we'll, can I have my hook back? We're going full Viper Keeper style here. Thank you, just in case you change your mind. Not falling for that game. Yeah, I know your game on that. We'll let you have a good look at his little bitty rattle. Kind of everything that goes in with that. So what you can see now is he's backing away. That is a very defensive gesture. Obviously I can't let him back off the table, but I'll actually show you something. So since he's trying to back away from me, all I probably have to do, truth be told, is spin around and he'll probably back the other way. But if you can look, I don't know if Kurt can show it, but the rattle is going. I'm going to be dead silent. I want you to really listen. You don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. Do you hear anything? So the rattle right now, I don't even know if it's had a shed to get a second button, which if it hasn't, then not eating is not a big deal. Or if it's just only got 2 buttons, he's never really stopped moving it when I'm looking at him to really see We'll see if we can't check it out here to give me a good look at it. See, I don't think he's actually had his first shed yet. That's how young this little guy is. So that's part of the issue there. He's probably still surviving off egg yolk. He does look very healthy. But we will leave a brand new mouse in there with him overnight. Will be our next step to try to get him on feed. But what I wanted to do is just let you guys have a chance to see him so you can see really what we're working with and just how pretty these are. Now, again, this is not a crotalus species, but anyway, you're a cute little guy. If you look at the top of his head, I don't know if we can get a close focus on that. One of the things I love about these dudes is their head pattern. So on the top of his head, it looks like an alien, like going, oh, like you can see the two eyes and the mouth there. Very neat. All right, buddy, I'm gonna put you back in your little house. You ready? And you're just so well behaved. You're just so well behaved. Look at that, just perfectly behaved. And again, this will tell you what these little hooks are really good for. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry that didn't work as well as we hoped. But rest assured, we're going to do our best to get this little guy going. And I hope we can, because I think he'd make a pretty excellent display here in the reptile house. Now, a lot of people would probably, skip a feeding that didn't work. We're not. We have other things that can eat this poor little rodent who's been stressed out to death. But I want to show you that because sometimes when you're taking in an animal out of the wild, you really have to decide if it's the right thing to do. Here I chose it to be right because it's been as low as, I want to say 17 degrees already. And if he doesn't have his den, he ain't going to make it out there. So I feel like this is the best chance he has at survival of any kind right now. Isn't that right, dude? So right now we're going to go ahead and just put him back. And that'll be the end of it. But we will keep you guys updated. We will also be sharing very soon. Our display room is expanding, and I'm going to share all kinds of really cool stuff with you. So for those of you that like our rattlesnake stuff and our venomous stuff, be prepared to see a lot more of that because we are going to have more of that here to go with, of course, our ever-expanding ball python collection. Kurt, anything you want to add?
No.
All right, guys. I'm going to go put this little one back, and I'll see you next week. Look, he didn't even try to bite me. He's so nice. But I'm going to quit scaring you now. Put you back. If you'd stop that tail. Yeah, he doesn't have the second button yet. So right now we likely are surviving off of our yolk. All right, catch you next week.